Liam, what are your thoughts on this at the moment? Lowering rental yields, the lowest rate of increase in rental yields since 1996. Things are looking a bit grim out there.
Yeah, well, the big problem is now so much of the new builds are owned by investors that we're very prone to any changes in the rental yields. So we're seeing them drop in Sydney from 3.4 to 3.2%. If we've already had the rush of growth for the last couple of years and we see some stagnation, in a couple of years' time, some investors will be going, "Why am I in here?" You know, and if mortgage rates start going up, and they're still getting lower and lower rental rates because they're talking about all this capacity coming on in the next couple of years.
Yeah.
I can't see it improving.
There's an enormous amount of supply coming through the system at the moment, unconstructed and yet to be actually started construction. A lot of apartment developments, particularly in the inner city areas, both in Sydney but also especially in Brisbane and Melbourne, isn't it? It's essentially a looming oversupply.
Brisbane looks like a real problem as far as the apartment sector is, and I know that some of the buyers agents that I work with, they're staying well away from apartments and just going for townhouses or villas and trying to make sure that their clients are going to be safe in any overcapacity market.
Do you think there's a potential wave of defaults out there in terms of settlement defaults from investors who've finding it a bit difficult to stump up the additional cash?
Well, there's no doubt about it. The banks now want at least 20% deposit. Most people have put down 5% or 10% maximum. In 2 years' time or 18 months, they'll have to come up with the rest. And we're already hearing that because of the overcapacity, the valuations will come in low.
Yep.
The valuers will be looking to protect their side of it. So if somebody suddenly has to come up with an extra 25% on top of the 5%, that's a lot of cash to come up with. And if the banks will be looking at capacity.
So it's an opportunity for the patient investors out there, isn't it?
Oh,
if you're
definitely.
sitting on cash.
I think we were both talking about if we've got clients who are looking, they should be saving now. If parents want to help them, match dollar for dollar in savings plans, get them used to saving as much as the mortgage will be, because in 2 years' time they could be able to pounce and get a very good deal that will set them up for 10 or 20 years.
Yeah, it's a fantastic opportunity for those who are patient, but obviously could be some trouble ahead for those who probably overstretched themselves on the expectation of fairly high valuations for the properties still yet to settle.
And I would say to people, don't be leaving it until settlement to try and sort everything out. If you know there's going to be a problem, look for other solutions now. You may have family members who may be willing to come in and if it still stacks up as a decent investment, but you just don't have the cash to come up with a deposit, look for someone to share that investment with you. Don't just leave it till the last moment and let the banks dictate what happens.
Definitely.